So welcome guys to another episode of Madridista Central, and this is a emotional video that I'm going to make right now. This video is about the documentary of Vinicius Jr. And last night I've watched the documentary of Vinicius Jr. and it was emotional, and this made me respect Vinicius Jr. even more. Vinicius Jr., if I'm going to start, I will just cut to the chase. The documentary was about Vinicius Jr., his life, and I have a lot of key points to take from this Netflix documentary that I watched. When Vinicius Jr. first arrived in Real Madrid, it was back in July of 2018. He was sitting beside R9. Of course, many of you guys know that person, a legend, of course. And in that video, in that speech, he made something that was very, very emotional. In that speech, he said that he will leave his family and his friends behind and he will make a lot of sacrifices. He said already that he had made a lot of sacrifices in order to play for Real Madrid, and that was in July of 2018. So his season started directly under the manager, of course. It was 2018-2019 season, and Solari was the manager that season, of course. And Solari gave Vinicius Jr. a chance, and he played a few games here and there, and he was learning. And I think at the end of the season, it was a round of 16 game against Ajax in the Bernabeu. He got injured and he missed about 2 months of action and he did not play. And because of that 2 months, his season went downhill after that, because when Zidane came back in that summer in 2019, he did not play Vinicius Jr. the following season. Vinicius Jr. stayed in the bench and he played some games here and there. And the worst part of this was, during that time, the media, especially the Spanish media, were making fun of Vinicius Jr. They said that he was an idiot and he did not play good football, and they were also making fun of Vinicius Jr. And remember, Vinicius Jr. was only like 19 years old or 18 years old at the time. He was just a young kid from Brazil. He came to Real Madrid. No one knew about him. And this guy already left a childhood that was very, very, I don't know, a tough childhood. You know, his family was poor. He did not have a lot of money, and things were not great for Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. had a tough upbringing. It says clearly in the documentary, and especially these journalists, they were very, very harsh on him, and they said a lot of mean things to Vinicius Jr. And what's worst part of this is that Vinicius Jr. did not get a lot of playing time. He sat on the bench and he was down. And many of his family and friends also said that Vinicius Jr. wanted to play. And they felt by the way he acted and his demeanor that everything was off about Vinicius Jr. He was not feeling well during the, I think it was 2019-2020 season. And he did not get a lot of playing time. But if you look at the positive side of this, Vinicius Jr. learned how to sharpen his mind, and he saw the game. He studied Zinedine Zidane's tactics when he was in the bench, and he watched how he could fit. That was the edge Vinicius Jr. had when he was in the bench. And I think it was the following season, in the 2020-2021 season, that was the season Vinicius Jr. got more opportunities from Zinedine Zidane, and that was also when Vinicius Jr. showed more in the team. During that time period, he was heavily criticized, still criticized from the media, and this time they took it to the next level. They made some memes about him, and it wasn't great. There are a lot of memes in the media about Vinicius Jr. So this was a very, very tough period of Vinicius Jr. And another key point that happened during that season was that Karim Benzema spoke to Mendy, and many people I think already know this. It was this famous incident when they were at the back in the UCL game, when Real Madrid captain at that time Was he a captain that time? Wait, I think he was, or maybe not. But during that time, he whispered to Mendy and he said, "I swear this kid, Vinicius Jr., is playing against us." And that was something that got a lot of attention during that time. Vinicius Jr. was still heavily criticized, but despite all that, despite all the setbacks and everything, odds against him, despite getting all these critics as a young guy, this man, he kept his head up. He kept his head up high and he continued to perform until he became a very, very good player. And that season was the breakthrough season for Vinicius Jr. He scored a goal in El Clasico against Barcelona, and Benzema and the team started to like him. Zinedine Zidane started to like him, and everyone started to like him. His teammates started to like him. The only problem Vinicius Jr. had was the Spanish press and the fans. Vinicius Jr. was also called up to Brazil during that in the documentary we found out, and he knew it was back in 2019 when he was called up. This man won his first ever UCL in 2022. The following season, of course, that was when Carlo Ancelotti became the manager of Real Madrid. And from the 2021-2022 season and onwards, Vinicius Jr. became a star in Real Madrid. He scored a UCL goal in the final. He scored a goal again. I think he won the Copa del Rey in 2023. He won La Liga in 2022, of course. And then in the 2023-2024 season, he scored in the UCL final. He won the La Liga. And he became a top player. And today, Vinicius Jr. is one of the world's best players. I mean, if you compare him from where he came to now, this guy has been a top player. And now that I've watched Vinicius Jr.'s documentary and his upbringing, the fact that he could come from a small village boy who lived in a small town, who did not have anything, who had a lot of tough times. I mean, when the people around him told him, "You will never make it. You will never be a football player. You will never be a star player. You will never be a pro soccer." And from that to becoming a Ballon d'Or nominee is an achievement itself. And Vinicius Jr. should be proud of himself. And this man's career is not even over. And in the documentary, we found out a lot of good things that has been said about Vinicius Jr. We had Karim Benzema, of course, even though he had some issues with him. He said that Vinicius Jr. is like a little brother to him. And he said that he always saw potential in him. We have Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham also complimented him. Toni Kroos complimented him. Lucas Vazquez complimented him. And most of all, it was Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti called this guy a machine. He called Vinicius Jr. a machine in the game. And when you have a support system like this with your team, there's nothing that can stop you. That can stop you as a football player, despite what happens. And another, of course, incident that I need to talk about, which I don't want to talk about in this documentary that happened, was, of course, the Valencia fans. And we all know the famous incident when people called him monkey and a lot of things. And the reason for that was because a few months prior, 6-7 months prior to that, before that, there was a Spanish journalist calling him a monkey. Vinicius Jr. needs to get his act together and start acting like a real professional football player and not a monkey. And these things are the things Vinicius Jr. will face as a football player. And sadly, till this day, he still faces this type of racism from some journalists who don't like him, some fans, some players, and some teams who don't like him. And the La Liga has not taken this issue seriously. Vinicius Jr. is a strong player. Despite all this hate that he has received from the media, from journalists who have openly called him a monkey, is absolutely a disgrace and it's terrible. But there's nothing you can stop Vinicius. The only Vinicius Jr. can do is to control his emotions, and he can control his playing style. And if he does this, if he does this, if he does this, he will be the best football player and he will probably win a Ballon d'Or. But the problem is, last year he was so close to winning the Ballon d'Or. He was so close. Despite all this obstacle, winning the Champions League, winning La Liga, winning the Supercopa de España, having one of his best seasons and not winning the Ballon d'Or is absolutely sad. But he won the FIFA men's best. But Vinicius Jr., all respect to you, man. Respect for where you came from. The only thing you need to do is keep working hard, keep pushing, and you will probably be the best player in the world if you continue like this. Because this man gave me a new perspective. When I saw his documentary, I have a new perspective and I have seen a new... It opened my eyes about a bit more about Vinicius Jr. and what he's going through. And that is something that is really, really good. And yeah, people will say that, this guy is trying to make you feel bad for him. Okay, we know he had a tough month, but he's gaining form. He has been great now recently. He has been scoring goals these few games, and he will continue to do so. And of course, yes, if you think Vinicius Jr. is going to be the best player in the world in the future, please let me know in the comment section. And I advise you to watch the Vinicius Jr. documentary on Netflix. It's still there. You can watch it. Oh, don't forget to notify, like the video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Madridista Central. Hola Madrid. Y nada más. Bye bye.